It's a BHAMBRA here for PSB Sportsman. David Haye versus Tony Bellew. Final press conference here today at the O2 Arena.
Yep.
With me, trainer of David Haye, Mr. Shane Mcguigan. He's back on PSB Sports. How you doing, Shane?
Good, thank you, mate.
Good to see you again. Good to see you. Firstly, what's your reaction to the final press conference here today?
Dull. Reality setting in. You got David, who's brought something different to the table today. You know what I mean, like Monday he was riled up, like at the public workout. He was voicing his opinions. Today, kept it calm and collected, and you can see Tony. They want him to be fired up. They want him to be losing nervous energy. But you got a guy like David Haye who's been here, done it many times, knows how this sort of fight week goes, and the fight's sold. The fight's done. Everyone's intrigued. I'm intrigued. I'm his bloody coach. You know what I mean, everyone's intrigued. So you got Tony Bellew, who's now going to start. The thoughts are going to start creeping in on him, because he's got 48 hours to get in the ring with David Haye. He looks like his old self. He's trim, he's lean, he's punching hard. He's looking phenomenal, in the gym, sparring Bryant Jennings, world-class fighters in the gym. You got Tony Bellew, who's been sparring, Tommy McCarthy, a guy who lost for the British title, and then you got him sparring Tom Little, a guy who's a Southern Area heavyweight champion, and Derek Chisora. You know what I mean? So I don't see, everyone's talking about his preparation and talking about how bad he's, how much he's overlooking Tony Bellew. We got in a world-class sparring partner. They didn't.
I've got to ask you this question from, it's been on my mind ever since the article came out, really. Tony, but I saw an article on Sky Sports saying that Shane McGuigan's in awe of David Haye. Surely not, Shane?
I'm not in awe of anyone, mate, to be honest. I've been around boxing my whole entire life. I met Mike Tyson when I was about 8. Lennox Lewis. I've seen world-class fighters train my whole entire life. I was a fan of David Haye. I'm still a fan of David Haye. Probably because I'm not a massive fan of Tony Bellew, or that's probably what they're gutted about. I mean, I believe the last 10 years, the last 20 years, England hasn't produced many elite fighters. And you've got an elite fighter in David Haye, and that's maybe they're in awe of him. I know someone who's in awe of him. That's Dave Coldwell. Dave Coldwell. Trust me, if you said to Dave Coldwell, "Let's change, let's switch. I'll take Tony Bellew for a month training, and you can take David Haye," I will bet my house. All right, Adam Booth never let him train him. He's still in awe of Adam Booth. Listen to the way he's talking today. Adam Booth used to employ him. I bet my house that Dave Coldwell would take David Haye over Tony Bellew every day of the week. Trust me.
And
enough here?
Say that again?
Is that enough here?
No, it's actually quite good, because when we usually get you at presses, we never get that major line. So we've actually got it already 3 minutes in. So I've got to give it to you, Shane. There, to be fair. Yeah. Sorry. So in particular, there's always, in terms of the pre-fight build-up, that's always going to be there, right? When we watch Behind the Ropes, generally you and David Haye playing the basketball hoops, doing the yoga, it looked like quite a nice setup. How did you find out there in Miami training him there?
It's enjoyable, isn't it?
Must have been nice, yeah.
Enjoyable, something different. We dedicated 4 or 5 hours a day to training. It wasn't that luxury, trust me. We were in a Spit and Sawdust gym in the 5th Street. Dino Spence put us up. Also got great facilities in other gyms. We did a couple of pad sessions on the boat. It was big enough to take us on the boat. Wore my sunglasses, people giving me stick, but he's bought into it, and that's it. You know what I mean? He's bought into it, and you're all sold, and everyone's sold on Tony Bellew, who's going to do a number on David Haye. God, it's going to come violently down on them on Saturday night.
What was the reason you didn't want to crack into yoga? You weren't up for that, were you?
Not for me, mate. Not for me. I can barely touch my knees, never mind my toes. So.
But on a serious note, though, David literally looks as confident now as he did before he fought Derek Chisora.
Yeah.
And in that fight, he said, I remember his words in particular at the press conference. He said, "This fight will end, I think, when I want it to, and in the first 5." And obviously, it did end in the first 5. So why is, from a trainer's perspective, being close to him, why do you think his mentality is so strong and similar in this fight? It clearly seems like he doesn't seem anything that worry him in Tony Bellew.
you got a guy that puts his hands up, moves his head. He showed he can box a little bit on the back foot, but his shot selection is punch. His punch patterns are very, very similar. Every single combination he changes it. Maybe he changes his jab sometimes into a hook, but he still hits that same right hand every time. He likes to whip down to the body after it. Then bring it up to the head. It's very similar patterns when it comes to how you prepare for Tony Bellew. You got David who's been in with guys like, he spent his whole career boxing guys like Tony Bellew, and he's so confident. It's just so confident. You couldn't get a more perfect fight for us right now than Tony Bellew. That's why he's going to end it when he wants, because he knows. Plus, once he hits him, you got Mcguigan, who's a guy whose best win was against bloody Glenn Johnson, and he got dropped heavily in the first round. If David Haye had hit him with that same shot, and he half hit him at the end of the shot, if he hit him from that same shot, he'd go to sleep.
Few quick updates on the rest of the stable, Shane. I didn't manage to even catch up with you after Groves getting it, because obviously what happened, but Conrad Cummins, very, very unfortunate for that loss. I think everyone pretty much said that he won that fight, Conrad Cummins. He's having the rematch, isn't he? In Cardiff, I believe. Is that correct, or Scotland? It's Mittag.
Yeah. I think Mittag's been playing silly bollocks, so we'll got something. I think the news is coming out soon about Mittag and Conrad's next fight, but he is going to be on Cardiff and he'll be on in Edinburgh as well.
An update on Groves, Chunov and Frampton, Santa Cruz 3.
Groves, Chudnoff is still in the pipeline. De Gale's snooping around. You've got other people snooping around. George Groves is in a strong position right now. Obviously I want to fight for a world title. He wants to fight for a world title. But with Badou Jack vacating, Callum Smith and De Gale thought that they were going to have a super fight. Callum Smith doesn't want to take that fight against De Gale. He's obviously opting for the vacant belt, and De Gale wants to be in big fights. He knows he's getting old. He knows he's getting past it. So he wants these fights to happen now. And you've obviously got Chudnoff as well. It's nice that we've got these options, and George is in a strong position. In terms of Frampton Santa Cruz 3, looking to nail something down soon. Looking at it, we're giving them options, giving them as many options as possible. They're playing hardball. Carl Frampton's going to be in Belfast in the summer, and then he's going to fight at the end of the year. Whether Santa Cruz is at the end of the year, we don't know. But I think if we let him go now, I don't know if we'll ever get him back again. So I want to get that fight nailed in ASAP.
Okay, well, Shane Mcguigan, thank you so much for your time for PSP Sports once again.
Thanks,
good luck for Saturday night, and fingers crossed we can see you soon, my friend.
Perfect, thanks mate.